Hey guys, thanks for tuning us in for this 55th episode of Good Questions with Cameron Dole. Special guests on this episode include longtime Jackie Chan director Stanley Tong. We'll be talking about the new film Vanguard in theaters Friday. We'll also visit with singer and songwriter Emme Lentino from New Zealand, talking about a new version of Last Christmas. And we'll also visit with country singer and songwriter Manny Blu about his newest EP, New Ink, which released last Friday. Of course, if you would, please take the time to subscribe, drop a like, comment, leave some feedback, and share with your friends. Our first guest is director Stanley Tong. We'll talk about the new film Vanguard with Jackie Chan, which releases in theaters this Friday. First off, Stanley, thank you so much for taking the time to be on the show.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Now, Stanley, tell us about the challenges of putting out a movie during COVID-19 and a big release, Jackie Chan. I mean, it's one that folks need to get out and see, right?
Yeah, well, we're supposed to release earlier because of the COVID. That's why we push it until now.
And tell listeners, if they haven't seen the previews and the trailers about this immense epic journey that Vanguard is, that they can see on the big screen.
Yeah, we'll be shooting. We have shot in London and in Africa. In the Victoria Falls, we have a whitewater chasing sequence, and Jackie have an incident when we shooting the film that the jet ski, fell over in the whitewater. He gets stuck under the rock, and for around 30 seconds, I couldn't see him coming up, and three stuntmen jumps down and tries to go and rescue him, but they all get past the rock, and until about 45 seconds before our security to save him up and drag him out of the water. And I was crying on shore, when the incident, having. And that's the most dangerous scene in the movie. And also for the last 30 years that me and Jackie making films together. And this is the most dangerous one.
And how impressed are you? I mean, does he still on the scene? Does he still kind of surprise you after all these years with what he's able to bring physically to the part as well?
Yeah, because he saw what I do the previous about the scene. He really likes it, and he knows the dangers of it. But as a filmmaker, we're trying to do something good for the audience. And we always like to challenge ourselves, and I just so happy because the first day in the rehearsal we were already, get drowned in the to have that incident. But the next day he was telling me, Stanley, don't worry about it. I will finish the shoot. The whole shooting in the waterfall sequence is 20 days, So every single day that we go onto the water, I was praying, God to save us and protect us, and I'm glad that, God really blessing us, and we finished the scene. And he also have a lot of fight, in the movie, yeah.
And for you, Stanley, I think the first introduction I had to you, as probably many Americans did, was Rumble in the Bronx. And did you expect the hype that came along with that, or were you a little caught off guard by the success of the movie?
Well, actually, I did the movie Police Story 3 Super Cop before Rumble in the Bronx, and after the movie released and that's an American distributor. He came to Hong Kong and invite me for dinner, and he was telling me he loved Jackie Chan, he loved Michelle Yeoh, and he loved the way that I'm making the kind of action comedy movie style. But he was telling me, because the story is nothing to do with America, and it's in Chinese, it would be difficult for them to put it out in the American market. So he was asking me, can I make a film for America? Can you have the story they make in America? So that's why it's given me the idea of making Rumble in the Bronx. But because at that time, I only have very limited budget. I only have around $6 million US for making Rumble in the Bronx. And so I actually shot 4 days in New York, and then the rest I shot in Vancouver. The whole film I only make for that, and I don't know if I can break into it, but he's just telling me that at least the story in America, and also speak in English, so we can release in over 2,000 screens. But I worry about if I make a film all in English, what about the traditional China market? The people don't get to see Chinese speaking English, and then will I lost the domestic market, and also I won't be able to break into the English market. I was worried about that, but I believe that we have a chance because of Bruce Lee, and did this movie at the beginning also in Chinese, and then later on he do Enter the Dragon, with American, and that it became biggest box office movie. So it, like those heroes that in the film history that give me a lot of inspiration, and they really support me, in spirit, into trying to do something new and to take the challenge of making a film, try to go international. That was back in 1994.
And now the challenges with COVID are challenges none of us saw coming, that's for sure. But again, the film is opening in theaters on Friday. You can find more information at vanguardmovie.com. And Stanley, it has truly been an honor to visit with you this morning. Looking forward to the new movie, and best of success, and hopefully we can catch up again real soon.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, guys, got another special guest with you, and well, it is that time of year and Christmas music, and coming up on the 27th, got a new version and a new release of Last Christmas, and we've got singer Emme Lentino with us, and I hope I still was able to pull it off the second time around. But Emme, first off, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you so much, Cameron. It's great to be on your show, and hello to all your listeners.
Now, Emme, this is kind of exciting, especially if you're an 80s music fan like I am, kind of geek out to a little George Michael and all that stuff. So tell us about your rendition of Last Christmas and the tie-in there as well.
Sure. Well, first of all, I want to say that I'm a huge George Michael fan, and I've always loved this song, Last Christmas. And I think most people have a hard time not singing along to it. It's just such a great song. And there was an opportunity to obviously, go to London and record this song. Now, lots of people have recorded this song, and they've all done a great job, and I applaud them. This version is slightly different in that there's a story behind it, and there's also a fantastic crew of people that are very much a part and have been a part of the George Michael story. So that's really special to be a small part of it as well. The opportunity arose through a project manager of mine who had a contact that was one of the original George Michael backup singers, and he played her some of my music, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I like her voice," which is always a relief. And then kind of it went from there. There was lots of planning involved. It kind of happened really fast. Al Clay, who is an amazing producer who is now based in the UK, and his wife, Dee Lewis Clay, is also one of the original backup singers, and her sister, Shirley Lewis. So there's a kind of a bit of a family affair. And we all got together with Jay Henry, another vocalist, and we got into the studio. I literally landed in the UK from New Zealand. So that's about a 32-hour flight. I went straight into the studio, and I met these amazing vocalists that I had been huge fans of for years. They've worked with not just George Michael, but lots of other vocalists as well. And the spirit and the vibe in the studio was so incredible. I immediately felt like, I don't know how to explain it. It was just this kind of spiritual experience where I really felt like it was like I was getting the approval of George Michael himself to sing. I know that sounds funny. Just, I was a little bit nervous because he's such an icon. And I thought, well, if it doesn't feel right, then, I'll know. But it felt right. We all jived. I got to be absolutely mesmerized by how they recorded in the studio, their voices all together, singing with them. Yeah, we laughed, we cried, we took, silly photos. And I've still kept in touch with them, since then. In fact, one of them, Jay Henry, is now my vocal coach. We do it via Skype once a week. So it turned out to be, lifelong friendships. And Al Clay went on to also do another single of mine. It was an original song that I wrote called Some Other Girl. So the collaboration and the magic that I really felt in London, I feel like I've been able to carry it onwards. And I'm really thankful. And I know that it was a very rare opportunity.
And
for sure.
You talked about being a fan of George as well. Did you put that extra pressure on yourself just to make sure that you didn't want to put anything low? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, absolutely. I think doing any song justice, you always want to be sensitive to the original art, which is, exactly what it is. He's absolutely an icon. But I also wanted to put some sort of, a feminine kind of a appeal to it, or something that was maybe mine, that. So when Al and I worked together, I think he knew right away that I obviously wanted to honor George's song, but also he knew that I could hear all of the vocalists that had sung alongside him. So he was like, okay, yeah, I think you're going to be fine. It was really because they made me feel so comfortable. They made the whole experience really special. And I'm forever grateful to them for that, for sure.
And everybody that I talk to, I've got to ask, what have you learned from 2020? Is the Zoom thing, is that something new to you, or what have you had to learn in 2020 as a result of all the separation time for everybody?
Yeah, I mean, I think Zoom is something that I'm obviously using more of now with live streaming and different opportunities with performance. But I think one thing that I've carried from it, and it is a positive thing, is that I love that although human interaction has been, diminished in comparison to what it was before, I feel that connection with humans virtually is something that is so special, and I'm so thankful for. That we do have the technology to be able to connect with people from all over the world. Music brings us together. I feel like there's that spirit of connectivity that perhaps was always there, but I feel it more in the last year, because I feel like everybody is going through such similar circumstances on varying levels, of course, but I think we all can come together, virtually, and have it. And I feel like there's a lot of empathy, and there's a lot of, that beautiful kind of being thankful for everything that we have, every single moment. I feel like, for me, I feel so thankful to be able to continue doing music and being able to bring music to the world. So that's kind of what I've kind of come out of this year for me has been, I've looked at the positives, and I've learned a lot about myself as well, which I think is always, somewhat bittersweet. But I think I know that we are all stronger than we realize in this world. And I think that this year is certainly been one that has shown us that. And I think that that's something to be very, very thankful for.
So as a songwriter, do you find that the inspirations for music, have they been darker this year, or have you tried maybe, has it maybe been a little bit more lifting of spirits type music that you've been inspired with?
I think there's been I've always sort of been an eclectic songwriter. So I think there was probably sprinkles of lots of different types of songs that were in the mix already prior to this year. But that's a great question. I think I've been drawn to certainly more uplifting and this time, to bring people together, but also something that happened with some other girl, because it was a heartbreak song, but I wanted to do something about self-empowerment, because I feel that a lot of times when we do come into any sort of struggle, a season of difficulty, it really is up to us to have the right attitude to be able to rise above it. So for me, it was also about writing things that address that for me personally, to encourage myself, and then also to be able to bring that message to other people. So I feel like that sense of like individuality, self-identity, self-love, being able to love yourself first enough to be able to help others love themselves as well. So, yeah. I hope that answers your question.
Exactly. Now the single is available on the 27th, and where can they pre-order it now, or do you just kind of wait till the 27th and click that button or something?
That's a great question. Thank you. So they can pre-order the song now on iTunes, and it would mean so much if people go to iTunes and pre-order it. It's just under Last Christmas, Emme Lentino. As far as I know, I'm the only Emme Lentino at this point in time. And that would mean a lot. It helps just the artist and obviously the songwriter, which is George Michael, not myself. And it stars the vocals of Jay Henry, D. Lewis Clay, Shirley Lewis, and Joe Garland. And of course, it's been produced by the uber talented Al Clay over in London, and would love a pre-order. It is available on all major platforms on November 27th, which I'm very, very thankful for. And I hope people like this reimagining of such a great song by George Michael, Last Christmas.
Well, we look forward to being able to share it with everybody, because we're going to hold on to it until the day after. I don't play it on the radio. We've actually because of 2020. Have you decorated early this year?
Oh my goodness! I know that folks can't see this. Can I show you?
Yeah.
I'm so glad you asked me that question. I'm so excited. So I've got my Christmas tree up. I even have funny reindeer ears. So yes, I am ready. I'm ready.
That is awesome. Now, if folks want to keep up social media wise with everything you got going on, where's the best place?
So I'm on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, all even amounts of time. I love connecting with people. It's under Emme Lentino, just my name. They can also go to my website, which is emmelentino.com, for all the updates and different things, different shows that I'm doing and different things. So would love to stay in touch with people. That would mean a lot.
All right. Well, Emme, it's been great to visit with you, and thanks for the quick little tour around the house.
You're welcome. Yes, I wasn't able to get my reindeer in place for the interview. I apologize. Next time.
That's awesome. Our final guest on the podcast today, we actually got to visit a couple months ago when the single was coming out, I believe. But the EP has dropped now, and we got Manny Blu back on the line. And Manny, it's good to see you. I actually see you this time around. How about you?
Yeah, good to see you too, man. How you doing?
Doing well. And like I mentioned, the EP just came out last Friday. And have you had any winks of rest since that point?
You know what? Yeah, we had a lot of fun on Friday night after the show. And so I got most of Saturday to kind of hang out at the apartment and just, chill and really enjoy. I got to talk to my parents because we live streamed it. So, people were able to watch it, whether they were in Nashville and just didn't feel like going out or feel comfortable going out, or if they were not in Nashville. So got a couple of calls from the family and just talked about it, and they had a lot of fun watching it and stuff like that. So, I kind of got to enjoy myself the next day and just, have a fun breakfast, maybe some like pancakes or something. And then, just enjoy it's been a busy couple of weeks. So, when you get days off like that, and you feel like they're well earned and well deserved, then, it makes it that much more fun to just chill.
Now, not only making the transition to the States, obviously had successes in Canada, now making the move into the States, but not only that, but also the hurdle of social restrictions. So how is how challenging has this EP release and promotion been this time around?
I mean, fortunately, I think we were able to do a lot of like things like this, like podcasts and interviews and calls and stuff like that. So thankfully that's been around and people have been wanting to talk to me about the song. So, I mean, that definitely helps. But I think when we did our show at 6th and Peabody, and they did an unbelievable job at making sure that everybody stayed social distanced. And, you know, if you weren't sitting at a table, they weren't going to serve you a beer. So it's a pretty cool incentive to sit down. You know, it was strange. It was strange not being on stage since March 12th. And then getting there, and it was we played up in Toronto and a place that we've played before. So it was like packed and jammed and fun, and everybody's getting excited and everyone's right up to the stage, and, you know, you're playing along with everybody. And then, you know, to go from there and then, you know, whatever 6, 7, 8 months later, be on stage and everybody's sitting and, you know, they're vibing, but it's not the same. So adapting to that and trying to pick up where you left off after so much time was a bit of a challenge. But I mean, we had fun nonetheless, and just can't wait to keep doing more of it. I just wish there's more places like 6th and Peabody where we can actually play and entertain people while everybody's being responsible and keeping their distance, you know. And if we can find more venues or have more breweries or venues that can do that, then I think we're gonna be fine.
How cool was it though to take the stage? Was it hard to keep the energy inside of you from maybe spoiling it, just boiling over, if you will?
Oh yeah, for sure. There's a video. I mean, we got to put the our album release bit. I mean, we played for an hour, so we really had fun. But with the album portion of the thing got shared on American Songwriter on Facebook, and you can hear right in the first song I hit 2 wrong chords, and they're the right chords, just played at the wrong time. I think I was just so excited that I felt the song much faster than it was, and I played a couple of chords that weren't in the right spot. But after that you settle down from that, it was a lot of fun, and we had a blast. So yeah, it's hard. It's crazy with everything that was going on. I had my drummer and my guitar player that are the 2 guys that were the first guys hired in the band. And we kind of looked at each other across the stage and was just like, let's do this thing.
That's cool. Now the new EP, New Ink, and I've noticed you moving the sleeves a little bit there. Yeah. You've got it looks like you've got a little bit of new ink.
Yeah.
Now
well, actually, funny enough, these are these are pretty old, but I did yesterday go ahead and get a new ink tattoo, and really just for the layers of the joke, I ended up getting a tattoo machine with the words "New Ink" tattooed on my leg. So
there you go.
I thought that was pretty funny.
Now the album title, as far as the band's concerned, this kind of goes hand in hand with everything that you guys are made of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're saying the title?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the title I think is cool. I mean, I don't like taking the name of a song or anything like that. You know, to me, I find like an EP or an album or whatever you want to call it is a collection of songs, that tell a story at a place that you were when you made that album. And I think that whole thing, the whole thing that wraps it all together, deserves its own name. And I didn't want it to be, the type of thing where I'm sitting down with a pad and a paper and I'm like really thinking of it really hard and trying to figure it out and, overthink it and that kind of stuff. I just wanted it to be something that hit me. And for a while, my team was like, "Hey, we're going to need a name like soon. You're pressuring us to release the thing and you don't even have a name for it." I'm like, "I know, I got to figure this out." And so I was just scrolling around on iTunes, I think, and came across Motley Crue's album called New Tattoo. And I was like, this is so cool. Obviously, can't name it also New Tattoo. So I thought, I'm like, what's a different way to say that? And I thought New Ink was even more appropriate, just because I think from the first EP to the second EP, there's been quite a change. Mm-hmm. And I thought that that's a pretty cool way to say, besides the whole tattoo thing, which is for sure a thing, was a new way to say, new songs, new style, new way of writing, new vibe, and the whole thing. So, ink, like pad and paper kind of thing too. So that's why I just thought that was a really even more appropriate than just a cool title like New Tattoo. So, having to think about it a real quick second, it ended up working out and being even more appropriate. Now,
is there any track off of the EP that's special to you, extra special to you? I mean, does that change as time goes on?
That's a good question. It does change. I do have one. I do have one that's a little more special, just because of the story that goes with it. But it does change, and I think it depends on what it is that I want to hear. Sometimes it's more of a sonic thing. Sometimes it's more of a vocal performance, and sometimes it could be more of a storytelling or a lyric or something. So it does change, and it also changes depending on which one's also more fun to play live versus what really gets me when I listen to it.
Now, what is what's the new thing that you've picked up in 2020 that you're going to take into 2021? Are you TikToking yet? Have you gone into the TikTokosphere?
We've been talking about the TikTok. Just trying to find a way for me to do it that isn't, not me. The last thing I want is for people around me to be like, "What the hell is he doing?" Like, this is not him. I'll be honest. I like TikTok. I think it's hilarious. My brother's girlfriend has a really funny account because she does a lot. They got a dog over COVID, and they use the dog for a lot of it, and I think it's absolutely hilarious. For my own self, I'm not A, much of a dancer, B, much of a follow the trend really. So I don't know how I'm going to figure it out, but it might just be playing some songs or showing some behind the scene type of stuff with the band in rehearsals and things like that. It's just a shame though, because we have a lot of fun, like, either in the van or the tour bus or whatever it is. And it'd be really cool had we been on the road to be able to capture a lot of those moments and get to share that with the followers and the fans and whoever wants to see it. So it's too bad that we're not on the road right now, but hopefully at some point that's going to be a cool aspect that I can share on TikTok.
What's the worst technical difficulty you've had in 2020?
The worst technical difficulty. Damn. Well, I've hosted our Blue Crew happy hours, and I've started off a few of them on mute. So I'm going through the sponsors and thanking everybody for being here and all this stuff. And I'm reading my notes and I'm like, I'm killing it. But I'm not looking up because I'm dyslexic. So already just reading is a bit of a pain for me. So I'm just reading it. I'm not looking up. I'm like, crush what you have to say. And then you could be kind of funny if you want. And as I'm reading it, I see like we have a little chat box and my sound guy is going, Manny, mute. And he's just like writing all caps and going down the whole way. So I think starting and hosting your own thing on mute is probably one of the worst technical days, because it happened more than once, which is the problem. You think I'd figure it out, but I certainly didn't. And then I got my friend Tills to host, and she was unbelievable. So yeah, I was like, someone else has to do this because this is not working out for me.
It pays to have some help. It does pay to have help, that's for sure. Now, what is Thanksgiving going to look like for you this year around?
Well, right now I got my family's back home, and my band are going to see their family. So probably not very much. I mean, typically as a Canadian, we used to do we used to use American Thanksgiving for like our big family Christmas. With my grandparents, so everybody can bring the gifts and stuff like that. Because around Christmas time, everybody's vacationing, somewhere else, or got other engagements. Whether I got cousins, I'm second oldest, and we got cousins, and I think the youngest one is, I believe, starting grade 7. So between sports and school and everybody else's schedule, we kind of had determined that American Thanksgiving would be our sort of one night Christmas thing that we do with the entire family, with my grandparents, my cousins, aunts, uncles. And then if we see each other, if we happen to be in the same place, or we try to build the vacation all together. But if it doesn't work out, then at least we had that then. So, but I can't, with this quarantine thing, I have to go back to Canada and quarantine for 14 days. So we're probably not going to do that. So I don't know, probably hang out with some buddies here, whoever's not with family in Nashville, and probably go to a bar and drink some beers.
I want to ask you how much different the music scene is trying to get breaking in the U.S., even after the successes that you've had in Canada. How different is the music scene?
I don't think it's very different. I think it's just a matter of constantly putting stuff out and constantly, just being around. I think Lindsay L, Megan Patrick, they've done a great job. Tennille Towns has done a really good job. I'm a big fan of Dallas Smith as well. So those, and so they're crossing over pretty good. Corey Marks is another guy who's awesome. More of the rock stuff that I like. So they're crossing over pretty good. And I think it's just wanting to do it, because I think the hardest thing is, you're from Canada, you get some success and you get to play bigger shows, and you got to restart that grind in the States some of the time. So I think it's really that's you've done it once and you're at a really cool place with notoriety and big shows and all the luxuries that come with that. And then you got to start over and do it differently again in the States. If you haven't crossed over yet, you know what I mean? So there's some of that, but I think good music's good music, no matter where you're from or where you're listening it, so yeah.
And do you think that the new music that you've got out, do you think that kind of helped make that transition a little easier for you? Just
I think there's just a lot of things. I think being open to doing anything that we've done, which is, podcasts or interviews or any types of live streams or videos or stuff like that, has definitely helped right now. It helps to talk about a new album, with a new style and a new sound and all that kind of fun stuff. So, I think some of it, yeah.
What's the hardest part of the recording process? Is it the getting started, or is it the finally saying, okay, that's good enough? What's the hardest part?
I think the hardest part is just trying to get it out of your head and into the way that you want it to sound. And oftentimes you think you got it, and then you listen back and you're like, that wasn't it. But I've been, for this album, for New Ink, I worked with Aaron Esses, who's an awesome producer and an awesome songwriter. And I'm working with him on the next project as well. And he's pretty good at getting me to using keywords to get me to sing it, the right way or get what he wants from me. And I think, for the, working together again has been a lot of fun. And just, we already know each other now. We've done it once before. And so it's just like, kind of like riding a bike, really. We just go back in. It's like, what is it exactly that you want to do on this one? And it's like, well, we want to continue the stuff from New Ink and just, make it better. You always want to make the next one better than the last, right? So we're just having fun with it right now.
That's all right. Well, Manny, I want to make sure and let all of our listeners know where to get New Ink. It's available everywhere. I don't. That's not necessarily looking for an endorsement for an ink house or anything like that.
No.
And Manny, social media wise, where's the best place to follow?
Manny Blu Music on Instagram, and it's the same on Twitter. We got Manny Blu on Facebook. And you can go online and link up to the Blue Crew and be part of the Blue Crew and get some fun merch and deals and discounts and all the info that we have stuff coming out, music videos, and you get to kind of see get premieres before it actually comes out. So Blue Crew on my website, mannybluemusic.com. You can also text me through a little texting button on my Instagram at Manny Blu Music as well.
All right. There's no reason they can't find info out, right?
No. There we go. Yep. If you're looking forward, it's there.
There you go. Well, Manny, again, it has been great to visit with you again, brother. I love the sound of the new EP, and look forward to talking again soon, my friend.
Yes, for sure, man. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks again for joining us for this episode of Good Questions with Cameron Dole. If you ever have a comment, question, anything else you'd like to know, find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, all at GQwithCam. If you'd like to help out in the funding for this podcast, feel free to click the support tab and follow the instructions. If you have a special guest idea, go ahead and email me, gqwithcam@gmail.com. We'll be back with episode number 56 coming up tomorrow.